kind of like just ease up on everything else. So
Hello, everybody. I'm Val Pancakes, as always. And joining me tonight on the stack, I have Riley Rose. And you can see Riley wrestling for AIW, Ohio Wrestling Alliance, New Wave Pro, among others, I'm sure. So please welcome Riley Rose. Riley? We were...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, Riley right here is frozen in time.
Oh no!
What you didn't realize was we were going to freeze him in carbonite before this started. Wait, I think we fixed it.
Of course, right when we go live. We've been talking for like 10 minutes. And when we go live, it's when Riley literally freezes.
literally, this is like giving the little spiel, like it's great to have conversation, and then boom, freeze, and I was like,
So I'm gonna just run back that intro chat. Just pretend you've never heard any of the stuff that I have already said. I'm gonna say it with more gusto this time.
Alrighty.
So I'm Val Pancakes, and joining me tonight on the stack, I have Riley Rose. You can see Riley in AIW, Ohio Wrestling Alliance, and New Wave Pro, among others, I'm sure. So please welcome Riley Rose.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi, thank you for joining me tonight. Excited to have you here. I think I talked to you in June, and I said, I'm not sure when, but I promise I will get to you.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It just, ironically, at the time where I'm hurt, you were just like, hey, I want to have you on. And I was like, oh, yeah, please.
Hey, you don't have anything better to do because you're hurt.
Exactly.
I'm more than thrilled to speak with you. So the stars aligned, and here we are.
Let's party.
I'm ready to party.
Let's do it.
So before, this is a little pre-game, if you will.
Okay.
I had some questions come from Twitter.
Oh, I saw a couple actually, and I've been studying. I looked up some facts, and I'm ready for them. Let's do it.
Well, hell yeah. First question I have comes from friend of the stack, Mr. Arthur MacArthur.
Oh, God.
And
I love Arthur.
I'm so excited. I finally got to meet him SCI weekend. I interviewed him, I think, in June as well. Total delight. I love being able to speak with people from all across the country. And then even more exciting to like get to meet people in person. So I really hope I get to meet you someday as well.
Oh, for sure.
He suggests that I ask you about your match with him and what he said before you went on a deployment.
Oh, so I went on deployment in January, and we had a match together, like literally right before I left. And that was when the whole spiel with Iran was going on, and
there's somebody behind you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Anyways, he had a whole spiel of like, oh, he was a little bit of a sore loser because I won, and he said, I hope Iran wins. That's what he said. But I forgive him. He was in a bad place at the time, I believe. We're good friends now.
Well, I'm glad that you're friends now. I'm glad that person that was just sneaking up on you didn't like hit you with something. I would have been very disturbed by that.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden you just like flop over, that would be
just right live on Twitch.
Disturbing for me. So please don't do that.
Our guest doubled. Whoa.
What? So I also have a question here from Zach Thomas. He asks, Sheetz or Wawa, and why?
Man, I'd have to say Sheetz. I was a big Wawa fan. That's why he asked. And I know Zach very well. And he knows that I was all for Wawa. And then when I had Sheetz, game changer. Like, love Sheetz. If you haven't had Sheetz, well, come over to the Midwest. You gotta try it.
See, in my section of the Midwest, we do not have Sheetz or Wawa. Over here, it's like...
Oh, so it's sad.
No, we have our own delightful
really?
gas stations that we like. I'm a big Casey's girl.
Ooh, I've never heard of Casey's.
Pizza. What?
No.
You got to come over to my half of the Midwest and have a Casey's Pizza. It's a gas station that sells pizza, but they don't just sell pizza. No. They deliver pizza, and they delivered pizza before the pandemic. Their pizza is delightful.
They deliver pizza in their gas station?
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
Right?
That's crazy.
I've always like, but so now they deliver like, and they did before too, like, again, this is also pre-pandemic. They deliver like snacks and stuff too, like you can order snacks. But like, I always wonder, I'm like, if you're stranded somewhere and you're out of gas, can you have them deliver you gas?
That's $1 million question.
Right? Because like, that'd be a service. It's like you're hungry and
that'd be
thirsty,
great.
Gas, right? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. So I never pushed my car to the edge, so I can't really relate.
Same.
As soon as it hits a quarter, I'm like, I need gas, like ASAP. Even though I can go like 100 more miles, like I need.
Right. This is like my sign to like fill up my tank.
Honestly, since I started traveling a little more with wrestling, I kind of do push it a little bit. But as soon as that gas light comes on, no, I gotta go get gas.
So the other gas station that we have here, we have like QT, which is okay. And we have my other like my favorite's probably Casey's. My second favorite is Come and Go.
Oh, I've heard of Come and Go. I think
Come and Go.
Yeah, because what isn't it spelled weird too?
It's KUM.
Yeah,
and then like an ampersand and then go. Yeah.
You gotta know the person that like created Come and Go is just like, well, we can't put a C there, so we're just gonna put a K. It will be our own personal joke.
If you don't follow Come and Go on Twitter, would 10 of 10 recommend it? Hilarious Twitter game.
Really? See, me and Sheetz on Twitter go back and forth. It's great.
Your personal friend of Sheetz?
Oh yeah, they're our personal friend.
Ooh. I also have a question here. It's just a little bit complicated, so I'm gonna try to like.
From Braden?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So backstory on Braden. Braden was my roommate at the Disney College program. I did the Disney College program right out of college, and it was so much fun. But this is the one I've been studying for, and you don't have to read it off so people can hear.
I have to read it off so that everyone else is informed. Braden asked, how many waves of second graders could you beat up if they came in waves of 10, but every 5 waves had a 6th grade boss?
See, so I took this as zombies, and if I were to give the same loadout as zombies, I would probably make it to about 20 waves. We'll say 20 waves. All right.
20 waves?
Yes.
That's 200 second graders.
Listen, it was a simulation. That's it. Not real life. Just a disclaimer. We don't want to hurt anybody.
So you're going to beat up 200 second graders and how many 6th graders? 4? 6th graders?
And in a simulated version. Now, if this was real life, obviously I would not beat up anybody. But if we were talking video game related, definitely 20 rounds.
I mean, I will let you have that. I don't have an answer for that one.
I had to think of an answer after I read that. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't be on the podcast and be like,
So another friend of the stack checked in to Twitter before the evening, and he just wanted me to say shit. So thank you for your contribution, Matt Brannigan.
I got an answer for him. So I listened to the podcast with you guys, right? And so he said he couldn't remember who was the Stone Cold that sounded like he was on a ventilator. That was me. I was the one wearing a mask going and literally sounded exactly like I was on a ventilator. Literally, we spent, I kid you not, I think 5 out of the 6 hours just quoting Stone Cold Steve Austin all the way to Tennessee. It was great.
Oh, that was one of the funniest things that has ever occurred on any of my podcasts so far. I was in tears, dying laughing. I was just completely gone. There was just nowhere, no holding back.
Oh my god, that day, it still continues. Me and him went to Tennessee back July 28th, I believe. It was a Wednesday. It was a show that we did at the fairgrounds that they were doing, and we were still doing the Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonations.
That's your thing now.
It is. I'm so sad that he lives in LA now.
Right? Aww.
That's my friend.
You lost your friend. Did you lose your smile?
I did lose my smile. He lives in LA.
Aww.
Curse that person that he lives with. I don't know her name, and I won't give her the name. So, he's gonna watch this back. Did you hear me?
Yeah, you turned into an Autobot for a second.
Oh.
All I heard is he's gonna watch this back, and
he's gonna be like, dude, why? Why'd you do that? I'd be like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And shit. The backstory on that too, before you go again. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
So much to cover. Literally,
I've got time.
We were taking. Oh, I do too. All the time in the world. And we were taking a road trip, and he just kept on saying shit randomly. I'd be like, what? And he'd be like, just shit. So it's kind of just a thing now.
Well, shit.
Just shit.
So the other thing that I had from Twitter here, there was a specific photo posted where I believe it's God. You wearing a pink shirt.
It is me. Yes.
With a camo hat and camo Crocs, but with long black socks. And you're standing at a urinal.
So listen, I was getting ready. I was getting ready for the show, and then I was like, shit, I gotta pee. So Matt was like, also, shit, I gotta pee too. So we went to the bathroom, and he got there before I did because, I'm very chatty. I talk to everybody, so I get side stops, on the way to the bathroom. And I get there, and he's just finishing up washing his hands, and then I go. And then he takes a picture of me. So that's what that photo is me premature ready for my match. And I'm just in long socks, Crocs, my tights, and my Effie Big Gay Brunch t-shirt. So that's what that was.
So for all my listeners, I am going to go ahead and just retweet that here after the show so that you all can get, because it kind of got buried in the comments, and it really deserves to be front and center for everyone to see. So I will retweet that so that everyone can catch a glimpse. I wouldn't want to deprive anybody of seeing that picture in all of its glory.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, I lost you a little bit there. I think you're
So much
frozen
glory of
again.
that picture. I can't tell you how many times that picture has popped up.
Is that
Did you
like
hear
a
me?
Yeah,
Are we
you're
back?
kind of in and out for me.
Oh my
And I think
goodness.
you're frozen. I can still hear you though.
In and out? Okay. You can hear me. Okay.
I can hear you.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure this out.
You're fine, man. Did I lose you completely? I think I did. Well, while we're waiting for Riley to come back, you guys don't have to wait because I'm going to go ahead and retweet this photo. Did it work?
Yes.
Hot
Cool.
damn.
Jeez, EP. Technology, it only works when you want it to. Or when it wants to, I should say.
Right? He has no concern of me or you.
No. Oh, Lord. Well, after that commercial break.
It was just me babbling for like a good half hour.
I know. Has it been a half hour? Jeez. All right. We're back on
Which I'm
track.
sure is thrilling to all. I'm not that entertaining. That's why I have guests. That's their job.
To entertain. Well,
yeah, not mine.
Oh, cool.
Sure. They missed waves of second graders and the photo.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll go back on Twitter and be like, what is this about?
Are we live? I didn't know that. I'm sitting here like yawning, like being like a dummy. Oh yeah.
Oh, yikes.
Super, yeah, right? So, in case y'all missed that, we're back now. I'm so sorry that you had to listen to me talk for any amount of time.
Working on a repeat. Hopefully this third time's the charm.
Well, I mean, the thing is though, is we're about an hour in.
See, this is actually all to my plan. This is just to help out with the buffer time to beat Matt's time, since he's holding the crown right now.
He is for amongst both shows. As far as my show or the shows that the guys do, he is by far the longest at almost exactly 3 hours. We did have Robert Martyr come close. Not
I
quite.
love Robert.
That kid is a trip.
I actually got to wrestle with him back at Fight Forever. It was kind of very random. Very, very random. We were both there just helping out, hanging out at the show, and they needed time to be filled. And so they asked us, select few people, if they had their gear, and we hopped on the occasion. So,
man, what hour did you guys wrestle?
Oh man,
I watched the whole thing.
Well, it was in between Hot Girl Shit and the Iron Man Challenge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was totally awake at that point.
Yeah, right in between those.
Nice. I wonder if you can go back and watch that anywhere, because there's like a lot. I know a lot more people now than I did then. So.
Yeah, you can go back on Fight, I believe.
Oh.
It's Fight TV. Yeah.
Nice.
Since YouTube took it down.
Yeah. No surprise there. So we went through the questions from the Twitter. If you're just joining us now, you can go back and watch those later. We're not gonna go read through them.
No.
Shit.
Just shit.
Just that. Shit. That's what we really need to take away from that whole first part.
Yes.
Shit.
Just shit.
So what was a young Riley Rose like? Ooh, cracking. You got another claw on deck for me?
Got another one. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So a young Riley Rose, man, he was a really to himself guy. Like, this is actually very bizarre that I'm a professional wrestler, because I've always been kind of myself. Like it was just not necessarily the antisocial, but sort of antisocial, and just kind of had a love for professional wrestling. So like ever since I was 5, I've always wanted to do this, and I actually just started in professional wrestling in 2018. So it was a little late, but I was also taking care of some things beforehand, which I'm thankful for with like college and joining the military and whatnot. So, but yeah, I didn't really do much. I did a lot of sports, so that was my main thing in high school. I played football, I wrestled, and I ran track for like 2 years. So,
What did you do in track? What
um,
was your
as
events?
as funny as it is, I was a hurdle runner because in high school I was 5'5", and the hurdles came up to my belly button. So, yeah, it was a leap every time.
Interesting. Yeah, I would have. I guess probably. I don't know. I wouldn't have assumed that, but yeah.
Especially with that height.
Yeah. So, how did you decide to pursue wrestling? I know you said that you had some other stuff you took care of first, kind of joined a little bit later, but
Yeah, so like my main thing was going to WrestleMania 34. So I went down there with a couple buddies. We went to New Orleans, took the 13-hour drive, and just being around the crowd, going to Supercard of Honor, and going to WrestleMania. It was just kind of like surreal, and just kind of like being around all those fans and the wrestlers as well, just running into wrestlers and talking to them. Uh, what really pushed me to finally live my dream. So it was a side note. I actually ran into a guy that I ran into in New Orleans, Simon Gotch, and I was talking to him in Tampa, and uh, I was like, "Yeah, man, you're actually part of the reason why I started professional wrestling." And you know what he said? Why?
what?
Why? And I was like, "Well, it wasn't specifically you, but you were a part of that weekend." And he was like, "Why?" Great dude, super intelligent, love the guy.
So, where did you train, and what are some of the things like that you took away from training that you still reference, or what are some of the best things you learned while training?
Honestly, like where I started off training, it was this like small little school in Lancaster, Ohio, which is like a little bit south of Columbus. And I mean, it was a good starting off basis. I trained under a guy named Gary Gandy. He, um, I mean, he was on TV once with WWE for extra work. He wrestled Kevin Owens. It was, I want to say 2015. So, but it was a good starting place. I knew I outgrew the place because they were very old school, and so I decided after I came home from deployment, I decided to go ahead and go to AIW, and I've definitely made some strides. But if I were to take one thing from training that I've kept throughout my career so far is closed mouth, open ears, because you can always learn, no matter what it is.
So you started training for wrestling, went on deployment, and then came back and went to AIW.
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to talk about deployment. I know some people are real touchy about it. I'm not going to pressure you one way or another, but like taking that break, like did that hurt you or help you more? Like, what do you think?
I believe it helped a lot. Honestly, like just fueled the fire of like just wanting to come back better, wanting to come back stronger, wanting to travel more. I did a lot of film study while I was overseas because like that's all I could do is just watch wrestling. So I kind of seen what worked, kind of watched some of the stuff back in the day that was, very helpful for some superstars. Honestly, like a lot of the wrestling I'd watch was Fit Finley because I love Fit. Like his work in the ring, like I don't think the dude ever really liked. talk to the crowd, but you knew that he was a heel. Like he was just by his movements and everything. And so just like all that combined and just like wanting to be back in the ring because it's truly a passion. Like when you're passionate about something, like that's all you think about 24/7. So I feel like it helped me out a lot just being away from wrestling.
Give you time to like really, like in my mind, did it give you time to like really decide like when I get back, yes, I want to do this?
Honestly, like I've always wanted to do this. Like it sucked leaving. Like I knew what was coming, and I was kind of one of those guys. The first year of my career, I was local. I just stayed in Ohio, and then I was finally traveling outside of Ohio right before I left. And then like as soon as I came home, it was just like boom. All right, we're going to North Carolina. All right, we're going to Tennessee. All right, we're going to West Virginia or Philly, New Jersey. Just that's what I needed was the time away. Just be like, all right, it's time to take this serious. So,
Like kind of like kicked you into like second gear to
oh,
like
for sure,
power through.
exactly. Because there's a whole new world outside of Ohio. Who would have thought? No, I'm just kidding.
So, who has had the most influence on you both in the ring and then out of the ring?
Ooh, man, that's a trick question. Because I honestly like I have a lot of influences with my in-ring work, but out of the ring, I'd have to say like honestly my family outside of the ring has a lot of my influence because like even though they might not show up to my shows, like they support me like 200%. Like they love what I do. They're always sharing stuff every time I post something on Facebook, and they're there for me. And that's I'm always been a big family person, so to have that kind of support is fantastic. In the ring, man, I'd have to say like a lot of my friends like that are in the wrestling world have brought like a lot of influence. Like Zach Thomas, obviously he's one of my friends. Good guy, super good in the ring. Like I feel like he's underrated, 100%. And Percy Drew's like he's also another reason why I started wrestling because he kind of got a head start on me, but I debuted before him, and I'll always over hold that over his head. But just like we always feed off of each other, so it's great.
So, what are your future plans and dreams, and what keeps you motivated, either just in life or in wrestling or both?
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. Wrestling is my life nowadays. So, like, this injury kind of made me realize how much I relied on wrestling, whether it be financially or just kind of just in life in general, like um, my well-being. Like, wrestling is a part of me now, like to a full extent. And what was the other part?
Oh, like, what are your future plans and dreams, and what keeps
Future
you
plans.
motivated?
Okay, future plans. So what keeps me motivated is like I want to make it to Japan. That's my number one goal. Which is crazy because a lot of people they think of the stereotype of like, oh, I want to make it to WWE or WWE or I want to be on AEW. Well, AEW I would consider, but like honestly, with WWE, I can just watching the people like Ricochet and recently carry or wow, why am I carrying? Yeah, carrying Cross. Like just seeing some of their repackages and how they get treated in Keith Lee, it's just kind of like I don't know if I want to be a part of that. Like that's not my passion. My passion is wrestling, and for somebody to tell me how to do what I love to do, I don't know about that. So that's kind of like why I wanted to go to Japan, and plus I love that like style of wrestling as well.
While we were working out the technical aspect, somebody asked me something about, and I went off on like a whole tangent. But the real takeaway from it was I want wrestlers to be able to do what they want to do, whether that's get signed by the WWE or work AEW, or if that's work your be a 40 miler and just work in your own area. Whatever makes you happy, that's what I want the takeaway to be for everyone. I just want people to be happy doing whatever it is they want to do, whether it's go to Japan or work their own state.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, even I did a seminar not too long ago with Sanjay Dutt, and he was like, honestly, whatever your end goal is, like, that's awesome. Like, do what you want to do. If you want to be a 40 miler, cool. If you want to get to point A, cool. If you want to get to point B, cool. Just do what you need to do to make it to that. And that's kind of like what stuck to me. Like, I literally, I've done like 3 or 4 seminars in the past 2 years, and his was probably the most notes I've ever taken because the dude's just so intelligent.
He has wrestled here a couple of times. I've been able to see him in my local indie, and like our guys talk nothing but good things about him. So
Oh yeah,
not surprised to hear that at all.
hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So what has been your greatest achievement in wrestling so far? And that can be like anything, like what you think is your greatest achievement. So it could be like a title, or if you had like a specific, feud or series of matches, whatever that means to you.
Honestly, like one of my greatest achievements in wrestling so far is just I wouldn't have to say it's mostly in ring. I would have to say just doing what I love is probably the greatest achievement. And honestly, like I really don't have a lot of accolades when it comes to titles, which is okay because guess what? That means I'm traveling everywhere else. Like I'm not being exclusive to one place. So, not saying that I would not deny a title shot, but
Riley Rose, the guy that doesn't want titles.
that's going to be my new thing. No, you want to give me a title shot? No, no. How about a singles match? Just regular. It's fine.
just put me in a scramble.
Yeah, that's my forte this year, scrambles. So like, if you want to put me in that, grade A. No, but honestly, I would have to say one of my greatest things with wrestling so far has just been connecting with Ricky Morton. Like just getting to talk to him, being around him, and going to his school because I every once in a while wrestle down at school Morton, and I've gotten to wrestle with some of the greatest people ever for sure. Um, I've gotten to wrestle with Percy a couple times. A guy named Draco, really talented, and Facade out of all people, just randomly. So
Random facade appears.
exactly.
But like it's cool that you're kind of, it sounds like to me anyway, like you're going different places and trying to like expand your horizons.
Exactly, extend the brand so everybody knows. Like that's my goal of 2021 was to be able to have X amount of states to where they get a little dabble of Riley Rose before I rock it off. Hopefully. So
Like I don't think enough people do that. I think a lot of people like stick to their what they know,
mhm.
but at some point you do have to, if that's what you're looking to do, like explore your region more.
Yeah, and it's just like I feel like a lot of people. It's very, very. I will say this from personal experience. It is very uncomfortable going to a new place because they have no idea who you are. So you come out expecting the same reaction that you get from your place that you're always there, and then uh, you end up coming out to crickets, and you're just like, all right, now I got to get them invested. So
Clap, clap, let's go.
yeah.
So, what has been the greatest obstacle that you've overcome in wrestling?
Oh man, I would have to say going back to like being like antisocial. I think the most complicated obstacle that I've gotten over is just being able to communicate with strangers because like you get used to the same old people and you're comfortable with them. But like when you're in front of people that you have no idea who they are or have no conversation with, it is the most awkward thing in the world. But I think I've pretty much overcome that, so it's great.
That's awesome. I kind of understand that. Like I always I love talking with people, but I'm always afraid of bothering people. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
maybe not.
No, I totally understand that.
So what is your like go-to road music? Like, because you said you travel a lot, you go all kinds of different
Ooh.
places. What is your go-to either road music or what do you like to listen to on the road if it's not music?
So the first end of the trip is usually just randomized because I listen to everything. So like it could be like, all right, we're gonna start this day off with like EDM, or I'm gonna start this day off with rock, rap. It's very random. But at the end of the road trip, it's gotta be wrestlers themes. Like 100%. It kind of gets me in the mindset of like, all right, I'm about to go into a show. Let's do this. It gets me hyped. I don't know why, but it does. So
So what are your like top three or whatever wrestler themes?
top three. Whew. So I'd have to say Lee Moriarty's. That's one of my top ones. Um, did you hear that?
Did you just say Mark?
Yeah, that'd be my roommate Zach Thomas.
Hey, Lee Moriarty's theme, banger.
It is. It's on my playlist.
See, exactly. So Lee, Atticus, his theme song, I love it. I actually just got introduced to King 810 this year, and I love the band. If you haven't checked them out, I don't know what kind of music you're into, but they're great. Hmm. And I'd have to say Jordan Oliver's Young, Dumb, and Broke, because I can relate.
I mean, I can relate. I got like 2 out of 3 on that.
2 out of 3. Which one did you not get?
Dumb and broke. I'm very much old, so
Oh.
I'm old, dumb, and broke at this point. Like, do you listen to any WWE themes, or what's like your favorite like WWE themes,
Oh,
or like
so
classic?
I would have to say No More Words, because I'm a huge Jeff Hardy fan. I love Jeff Hardy. Edge, his theme song, and Voices, Randy Orton. Yes.
My favorite WWE theme song, the only one that like is on my playlist that like I can listen to as a song without the wrestling connotation around it,
Mm-hmm.
is AJ Lee.
Really?
So like, let's light it up. Like that gets me going.
I would have to say Cult of Personality too. Also, how about CM Punk coming back? Oh, like
Are you like, were you a big Punk fan?
Oh yes, 100%. Like after, like I mean, I was a Punk fan before the mic drop or the mic bomb, but like after that, that version of CM Punk, whew, chef's kiss. Like I'm excited to see what he does in AEW for sure.
I was a big Punk fan. I'm excited. I'm always like a little bit like combination of like excited and a little bit like leery when people come back, just because I hope that they come back and use their status and experience to help younger people progress on their journey, and they don't just like hover at the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I know what you mean. I kind of feel like that's what's gonna happen with Christian, honestly. I mean, as much as I love seeing Christian and Matt Hardy outside of WWE, I mean, I just want to see Christian with a lot of the younger talents, and even Kenny Omega. Like, I'm super stoked for that match, super stoked because like I've been a Kenny Omega fan like in Japan. Like, I'm not too much of a fan of his work right now, but that's just a personal flavor. Um, but like just kind of seeing that match and what they're going to create is going to be awesome.
It should be very interesting. I want to see how it plays out.
Yeah, because it is kind of a clash of styles, so we'll see.
So back to you're on the road. What are your go-to road snacks?
Road snacks. Ooh.
I'm a Snackosaurus Rex.
I am too when it comes to the road, especially late at night, because that's what keeps me awake. Man, I would have to say Sour Patch Kids watermelon. A lot of it's candy, so
I'm a fat girl, and I'm a fat girl that loves sweets, so lay it on me.
All right, lay it on you. Recently it's been the nerd the chewies, the nerd chewies in the yellow bag. Those things are fantastic. I can't tell you the ungodly amount I've had since I've been injured. Let's see. It's got to be a Sheetz run, especially if we're in West Virginia. Like, it's got to be a Sheetz run, no matter what.
What's so like I hear a lot about Sheetz and Wawa, and as stated previously, we don't have those here. I've never been to one. I have no thoughts, feelings on them at all. Mm-hmm. But like, what's Sheetz like known for? Like I told you, like I like Casey's. They're known for pizza. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the Sheetz
I'd have to say, I don't know really what they're known for, just because of the simple fact of like I just got introduced to them this year. But like what I go for is their snack wraps. Well, I mean they're technically snack wraps, and also they have a lot of fried options. Like they just had fried pickles added to the menu. They have fried mac and cheese. Let's see, what else do they have interesting? They have waffle bun that you can add. And you like create your own burger with like a waffle bun or croissant bun or.
You said the dirty W word.
Oh, what's that? Waffle? Oh, I'm sorry. We'll get that bleeped out. Yeah, curse you, Sheetz, for not having pancake buns. Jeez.
You know it.
I'm gonna tweet out to Sheetz and let them know, hey, you should have a pancake bun.
So, back to on the road. Who are your like road buddies? Like, who do you put in your wrestle car?
So in my wrestle car, most of the time it's Percy Drews. He's a character. God love him. Matt Brannigan, Zach Thomas. Let's see. Zach's mostly the number one though, because we live together, so it's kind of easier for us to just go, hey, we're going here, can I hop in? Oh yeah, sure. Oh yeah, we're both here, let's go. So
I was gonna ask if it was because he was within earshot.
Oh nope, not right now.
So what's your favorite city to wrestle in?
Oh man, Cleveland's starting, honestly. Like, I'm starting to love the AIW crowd. Like, they're, goodness, some of the best people I've ever met. Like, just talking to them and just their vibe and how excited they are for wrestling every time. Like, I don't think there's ever a dead moment in an AIW crowd. Like, every single match they're in, which is fantastic. So yeah. I'd have to say AIW, and man, if I were to have to pick someone else, probably School Morton. For sure, because like every time I come out, like they're just in it from the moment I start coming out. So
I know I've watched like the AIW shows on IWTV before, and they look absolutely insane. It looks like the crowd is just like off the hook every time.
Oh, they are. It's fantastic. Like, I live for those kind of crowds. Because I've experienced both. I've experienced the crowds that are just sucked in, and I've experienced the crowds that are like almost golfer crowd. Like, they're very quiet. Not that they're not interested, they're just very quiet, and it's very awkward.
Yeah, you don't want everyone to be able to hear everything.
Exactly.
Who's been your favorite opponent?
Man, I'd have to say Matt, honestly. Like, we just have that chemistry that me and him, we know. We know. If I were to pick somebody outside of my friend group, it'd have to be Eric Dillinger. Eric Dillinger, literally, he's just underrated, 100%. I don't know why he doesn't travel out more, but he probably should, because the dude's got it. So
then, what is your favorite move to take, and what is your favorite move to give?
ooh, to take. I'm very obsessed with a Canadian destroyer. I don't know why. I stray away from it because, you know, there was a point in time where everybody was doing it, and I was just like, we'll let it calm down. And then now that it's calmed down a little bit, I was like, Canadian destroyer.
You're bringing it back?
You're bringing it back. To give, though. As wild as it was, and as scared shitless as I was, the 450 to the outside was probably I'm an adrenaline rush kind of person, so like that was just grade
A. I mean, that sounds terrifying.
Oh,
but
it
if
was.
You enjoy it, I like watching it, but
I'm a very like I love the edgy stuff. So,
do you have any pre-match rituals? Anything that you do to get hype or whatever to do to get ready for your match?
So like pre-match rituals, I really don't have a lot. My biggest thing is while my music is playing, I'll stretch and jump around. It's just like it's a personal hype thing. Like, you know, like, all right, I'm about to be in front of X amount of people. Like, I need to get myself hyped and get like to come out and be this larger than life person, because that's what we play this larger than life person, because some people look up to us, which is crazy. Like never in my life did I think I would be in this position, but it's just otherwise than that, like I really don't have much of a pre-match ritual.
So, what would be a dream match for you? Like both like crazy, like out there, and then like more like attainable, if that makes sense.
Okay, so crazy out there, I would love to wrestle. It's going to be a triple threat because I can't pick between the two. I would like to wrestle Edge and Jeff Hardy in a triple threat match. That would be great. Attainable, I literally just dropped his name yesterday on a podcast that I did. Lee Moriarty. Like, I would love to go one-on-one with Lee.
So, are you calling Lee Moriarty out?
Listen, if Lee Moriarty is watching this, calling you out, brother. I feel like we have a couple places where we run into each other, so let's make it happen.
Well, I'm definitely going to clip that and then put it on Twitter and then tweet it at him. So maybe, maybe not.
Now you got me all nervous. Just kidding. But no, seriously, like it would be a dream match of mine to just go one-on-one with Lee. Just his technical work, everything that he does. Once his music hits, how people react, like it's a match set in stone right there.
I think that would be a great match, and I would like to see it. And if I would like to see it, then that means other people probably would, and that means somebody should book it.
I wonder if there's somewhere that would book it.
And then who would be like a dream tag opponent for you, or not tag opponent, tag partner for you?
Tag partner.
You could tag with anybody.
Do they have to be alive? Eddie Guerrero.
Okay.
Eddie Guerrero. And here's why. I was a big fan of Eddie, so like that he left pretty early, like life, kind of like it sucked. It was like one of the few moments where I cried in wrestling. but like I was always a fan of his work, like how he would change his character. Like I mean, it was the same thing, but like just how he perceived himself. So I feel like a tag partner with him, like it would be like a clash, but almost like a clash of like Kane and Daniel Bryan in a way. So I would enjoy that.
So if you had an action figure of yourself, but it was like one of like the talking action figures,
Mm-hmm.
what three phrases would you want it to say, and what accessory would it come with?
Oh, uh, would it be for toy collectors or would it be for children?
Um, both.
Both. Okay. So if it was just the toy collection, I would like to for it to say shit. um, hit me, bitch, because I say that quite often. And fighting is all I know, because that's my catchphrase. Now, as
So
a kid's accessory or a toy, it'd
yes.
be fighting is all I know. Uh, more of Irish strong style. Like I am the more of Irish strong style, you know. And man, I don't even know what the third thing would say. Probably fight me. That's that's another thing I say a lot of. Like,
And then what accessory would it come with?
accessory. Hmm.
That can be like an item of clothing or a weapon or whatever.
I really haven't had too many matches with weapons, so I'd have to say it'd probably come up with like a zip up hoodie because that's what I wear out to the ring. So
Nice. Everyone likes a good zip up hoodie.
everybody, I'm so excited that fall's coming around. Get the hoodies ready. Like
Same.
I love tank season, but I love hoodie season a little more.
I'm all about hoodie weather. Like I get warm easily. I'm fat bitch. I'm sweaty. Like I don't do summer very well.
Listen, I get sweaty too, like too easily. Like I'll get out of the shower and I'll be sitting here and be like sweating. I'm like, what is going on? Come on now, I'm just sitting here.
Oh, did you go to Tampa Mania weekend?
No, I did
No,
not.
okay. Oof, because that was toasty warmness.
I went like I mean, just down in Tampa in general was toasty. Like I was at GCW the whole time, just helping out with the collective and
Yeah, Mania
hot.
weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you were there then.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
No, no,
Sorry.
no. I asked if you were in Tampa Mania weekend.
Tampa. I thought you said Tampa Medium Weekend. I was like, what?
I need to enunciate better. No. So you were at Tampa Mania weekend.
Yes. Oh my goodness, it was hot.
Oh,
So hot.
I was a hot, sunburnt, gross mess.
Yes, I was sunburned as well, as you can only imagine because I'm pale. So
Same. I still
I
have like
think,
a cool, like, tan line.
oh, same. Like it's just tan right here, and then you look at my lower body, and it's like it hasn't seen the sun in my whole life. So what was it?
Same.
Oh, the first day at Tampa, I had a cutoff on. And I think the second day I was wearing t-shirts for the rest of the time just because I did not want to get burnt any more than I was.
I was in pain. Like, I had to go get like aloe at some point
Oh my
because I
gosh,
was
yeah.
like roasty toasty.
I don't know if we got aloe because like I'm kind of stubborn when it comes to that, even though I'm like Irish. Like I literally barely wear suntan lotion, and I barely use aloe unless I'm like strict pain. Like I need aloe, like so.
Yeah, no, I'm a weak ass bitch. So I'm like, no, let's just take care of this pain. I was like chomping on ibuprofen and like just rolling with it.
Just going with it. It's Mania weekend. You just got to keep trucking.
Right? I'm gonna be up for 20 hours. Let's roll.
That's how it was. Oh my goodness. Our setup would be at like beginning of the shows would be like 10 a.m. call time. Not leaving until about like 2 or 3 a.m. and then waking up the next morning early. Oh man. Thank God for military training because that would have sucked bad.
See, I'm finding out now all of these people that were at Mania weekend, and I'm like, I didn't see you at all. I don't remember you. And I'm like, I wish I would have known you then.
Yeah,
But I
because like
didn't.
I was all over the place, like between GCW and also the other GCW. I went over there for a show. Um, what was it? Pile Driver Pro was running a show, and we had ties with them, so went over there just in case they needed us. And then also we were booked with another show uh, called Crab Wrestling.
I
So
remember
we
that.
did, yeah, did something with them. It was like a battle royal, and then went back to GCW. But most of the time was spent with Game Changer. So
Yeah, I spent my first day at the IWTV venue, and then I went back and forth between Game Changer and IWTV stuff. So
yeah, there was a lot of options. Like
holy buckets! Yeah, there was. I
like
mean,
I wish I would have known about independent wrestling when I was in New Orleans because I could have filled my days more than just you know being on Bourbon Street.
I went to WrestleMania in 2017 when it was in Orlando. And I went to like one indie show because somebody that my sister was friends with was wrestling on it. But had I known then what I know now, I would have gone to a lot more.
Oh, 100%. Like I really didn't get into independent wrestling until like started independent wrestling. Like I mean, even a little bit after that, like I would have to say like between late 2018 2019 is when I started getting into independent wrestling. So
I started going to our local stuff in 2012.
mhm.
Um, but as far as like independent wrestling on a national scale, I really only got into it in like 2019. And I'm
See,
like,
around the same
what have
time.
I been missing this whole time?
Literally, that's the beautiful thing about IWTV is like you can go back and watch some of this stuff. Like I remember there was one day I was just like, I need something to watch, and I just went back and watched El Drunko matches just the whole time. Oh my goodness, talk about comedy! Literally had me rolling.
Are you like a comedy wrestling guy?
Oh, I love all kinds of wrestling. I'm very versatile with wrestling. Like I think there's a spot for comedy. I think there's a spot for strong style, luchador, all that stuff. Like it's all very enjoyable to me, honestly.
Same. I watch wrestling to be entertained, and I'm entertained by a great many things.
See, you said the golden word. That's all you need. Entertainment. That's all that matters. So
It's like I'm entertained by lucha, I'm entertained by, strong style, I'm entertained by death matches, I'm entertained by comedy matches, I'm entertained by everything.
you said one word that I have not done yet, and I probably won't. Death matches.
Comedy matches? No.
No, I've done comedy. Do you know who I wrestled? I've wrestled Matt. And if you have watched Matt's matches, you should know enough.
Fair point. So you don't think you would ever do a death match? Would you do like a hardcore match?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But you
I
draw the
do.
line at like light tubes?
That's also a weird thing. It's not the light tubes because I've also wanted to be hit by a light tube just to understand what it feels like.
Oh, so
But
we're going to put that out into the universe.
yeah, I mean, might as well. But I've always said like deathmatch would have to mean something. If I'm gonna do it, it's got to have a good meaning to it. Um, Otherwise than that, it's not my world to go into. So
That's fair. There's a lot that goes into that, and the guys that and gals and whoever that do that are very good at what they do.
oh, 100%. Like because I'm very entertained. Like honestly, like with wrestling, the biggest thing with me is like I'm still a fan with deathmatch because like I will not do death matches like unless it means something. Like I said, so that is still like my little fan heart is in death matches.
So, what's the weirdest request you've gotten from a fan as a wrestler? Talking about fans.
Oh.
You can like tell me in the world.
Well, I honestly like, man, there's been a lot of weird stuff that I just kind of like cancel out. So I'm trying to remember.
You're like just try to forget.
Yes, exactly. Um, Nothing as weird as Matt, because I know that dude has so many stories. Dude's getting a lot of shout outs tonight, by the way. I'd have to say, like, just kind of like, I don't know, like weird as in talking about how matches go. Like, oh, I bet you were all sweaty with all those other guys and all this stuff. And I'm just like, dude, come on. Like, don't like mistake my kindness. Like,
don't put your fetish on me.
Yeah, like, I mean, whatever. You live your life, you be happy however you are, but like, bro.
So, what is the wrestling word that you use most outside of wrestling?
Oh fuck.
So that's an inside word too.
Yeah. I'd have to say shoot. I always say shoot. Like, it's a shoot, brother. Like, especially with Stone Cold. Be like, it's a shoot, brother. My favorite thing is to go into the fucking Bruiser Brody. Every time he talks about Bruiser Brody, he's like, shit, I get it down pat, and I don't want to fuck up, so hopefully I don't fuck this up live. But like, yeah, that reminds me of that time with me and Bruiser Brody. It's greener than goose shit. Oh fuck. But yeah, shoot. Shoot's definitely the word I use a lot. Especially sometimes they'll slip and like people that don't understand wrestling. I'll be like, oh yeah, they're shooting. And then I'll be like, ah fuck, they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Shoot's one for me. Like I'm not even a wrestler. I'm just around it too much, I guess. Where it's like I pick up on this crap and then I like use the words.
Mm-hmm.
But shoot is one that I use quite often, and pop, like, oh, that popped me.
Oh, pop's another one. Yes, that's definitely another one.
And gimmick, because everything's a gimmick. Give me that gimmick over there.
Yes.
Gimmick table.
Go to the gimmick table. Oh, wait.
Ooh, that was like crispy.
Crispy.
Like it was very nice. A little
like
mid.
From a scale of 1 to Sprite at McDonald's.
That was like maybe Sprite that you got at the beginning of the meal, but now it's the end of the meal.
Yeah,
and you're like,
that's just like
it's a little flat, but not terrible. I mean, but pretty crispy. So now this is probably my favorite part of any interview that I do, where I get to hear about travel stories. Travel stories are my favorite. Everyone has really good travel stories. Something that's either funny or otherwise memorable or just like fucking insane. So I know that you have to have, especially because you told me who's in your car, have to have at least like 1 or 2 good wrestle car stories. You can, if you want to, change names to protect people that maybe from incriminating items.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to. You can name names if you want to. Makes me no difference.
So I'll go with the most recent.
That's on you, brother.
Brother. I'd have to say the most recent one was I was traveling with a guy named Gorgeous Morgan Taylor, and we're heading to West Virginia. and we're planning on going to New Jersey afterwards, and had this whole plan and everything. Well, that quickly got squashed. There's another term. Uh, quickly got squashed. My car broke down 20 minutes away from the venue, so we're just sitting there in front of a church in West by God, Virginia, out in the middle of the country. So I'm like, shit. And it wasn't just shit this time. It was actually shit. And we were broken down there, and then we got a ride to the venue, wrestled, whatever, came back, and this was a Saturday. I don't know if you know this or not, but a lot of mechanics are closed on Sunday. So I was stranded in West Virginia for not one, not two, but 3 days. 3 days I was stuck in West Virginia. And between walking from the hotel back to the dealership, it was exhausting. So, by the way, this is all in the same week that I broke my ankle. So,
were you walking on your broken ankle?
No. Sorry.
Okay.
This is pre-broken ankle, but
okay.
all in the same week. So, yeah, I was stranded in West Virginia. Luckily, got it up to the point where I could drive to Tennessee for that Wednesday booking I was telling you about in the fairgrounds. Drove home, rested Thursday, wrestled Friday, Saturday broke my ankle. So it was a hellacious week for sure.
Was it like small town West Virginia, like Yeehaw, West Virginia?
Yes. It was between Ripley, West Virginia, and Spencer. So it's like, I would say northwest Virginia, but very by God. So, now more into the funnier stories. So there was one time, it was me, Matt, Saturn Price, and Percy Drews. We're all going down for this double shot in North Carolina, and we obviously just laughing our asses off with stories and whatnot. And we get to our double shot. We go to Tennessee. We stay at my friend Amelia's house. She lives in Knoxville, and it was close to the next town that we were going to. For some god reason, her dog would not stop humping Saturn. Like, I swear on everything, like, it was every single moment he was out and about that this dog was, like, right on his leg. So it just kind of been our running joke that we were like, hell yeah, we need to get a car together and we can bring Dylan, which is the dog's name. And so it's just a running joke. It was so bad to the point, like, we woke up the next morning and the dog was in front of the room that he was staying at.
Just like waiting.
Just waiting, like, get that leg fresh and rested.
You ready for me?
You ready for me? Here I come. So, you ever seen The Shining where he, like, cuts through the door and he's like, here's Johnny. We made a joke where it's like, here's Dylan. And it was like Dylan's face plastered in front of Johnny. So, that was
I
one
like
of the
that
stories.
The dog's name is Dylan.
Yeah. So that was one of the stories that just kind of sticks with us. It's a phrase. I don't think it would be as funny because I think we were just so tired when we were driving. But I was telling Percy that was driving, I was like, oh, you need to get in this lane. I was like, wait, no. You got to get in the lane that you were in. And then it was just like instant, like, fucking what? So that's just kind of like our thing. Like, look at each other when something bizarre happens, when you just feel like, fucking what?
Like, that's how the best inside jokes are, though. They're just like totally like nonsense, stupid things that make no sense and mean nothing to anybody else, but like it's hilarious to y'all.
Oh god, it is so hilarious. Like, literally, I can quote everything on Twitter and tag everybody in it today, and they would just start laughing. I'm not gonna go into complete context, but there was like something that I think it was talking about like cars or something, And Percy was just like, "Is it nice?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty nice." And he goes, "Nice." So it's the dumbest shit, but it's just funny from an inside perspective.
Like, what's the longest drive that you've done?
For wrestling, I'd have to say to Atlantic City, which is about 8 hours from Columbus. And we just ask, like, the first part is like asking random questions because we'll drive through the night. And then, like, the first or the second half is just like people taking turns of sleeping. Like, you know, obviously we'll have one person awake, but like for the most part, it's just like, all right, it's your turn. You drive this amount of hours, and then we'll switch on to the next person. Yada yada. So
Are you like a sleeper? Like, some people can sleep in cars and some people can't. Like, are you a good like car sleeper?
So I used to be like, if I'm so exhausted, then yeah, I'm sleeping, I'm out. But like here recently, I've been getting like really car sick, like, which sucks because like I'm constantly in the car, and if I'm tired, I'm just like, fuck. But like if I'm like deadbeat exhausted, then yeah, I can sleep in the car, and I'm like out. Like I'd be like, you got this, okay, gone.
Who's the best driver out of your wrestle car? And
I'd have
who's the
to.
worst?
Oh God, reoccurring names, but I'd have to say actually this one's a new one. Jeffrey John is probably the best driver that I rode with by Matt. Matt's also a good driver. Um, but Percy Drews, oh my God, there was a point in time like we were so exhausted. It was after a double shot from Tennessee and North Carolina, and uh, he looks at me after I was like, I can't drive anymore. I'm tired. He's like, oh, I got you. He looks at me and he goes, you know, you could take a nap, right? I'm like, yeah, you're also driving my car and my anxiety is through the roof. Like, bro. So
Like, I guess I can, but physically I cannot.
I cannot. Like, I need something to knock me out because, like, and then also there's times where it's just like, well, if I die, I die. Like, I'm just so damn tired. Like,
Been there before.
oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I literally just said that exact same thing because I'm going from where I live in Omaha to Chicago for like next weekend for some of the GCW stuff. And I'm going by myself. And I believe I specifically said it's the first time I've ever made that long of a drive on my own. But if I die, I die.
Listen, it's not too bad if you can keep yourself awake. I know, like, when I'm struggling, like if I'm by myself, I'll listen to like podcasts, or if I'm the only one awake, I'll listen to podcasts. I'll listen to music that I can jam out to. Um, Energy drinks also come into play. So, uh, but yeah, I think the longest drive I've ever made, and this is outside of wrestling, I'd have to say probably to Orlando, or not Orlando, but Jacksonville. It was, I want to say 14 hours
Yeesh.
by myself. So, and I drove like literally, I was at drill, which I was up at like 5 a.m. and then didn't get into Jacksonville until about 8 a.m. the next day. Yeah.
Nope, not for this broad. The best, like 6.5 hours from here to where I need to be in Chicago. But I went to St. Louis with my bestie for wrestling, to watch wrestling, like about a month ago. That was probably the furthest I've driven in a long time. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I'm like, I can probably drive to Chicago.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
To be continued.
If I die, I die. So, outside of wrestling, like what hobbies do you have or what do you enjoy doing?
So I like playing video games when I do get the chance. I also love working out. Like that's just kind of been like a hobby of mine before wrestling. Um, for like it was personal reasons, like personal motives beforehand, and now it's just like I just try to keep in shape for wrestling and whatnot. So
Well, I mean, you have to, for wrestling, be around people in tiny underwear. So fair.
yes, exactly.
And then what would you tell a 10-year-old version of yourself?
If I were to talk to a 10-year-old version of myself, I would have to say life is going to hit you hard, but at the same time, you're going to persevere and you're going to do great things for yourself. And also start wrestling early, dude. Like you have this dream already in your mindset, like go after it. You got this.
Like, how did you learn that there was a training school in your area, or how did you decide where to train? Like, for me, like just going to wrestling, it was like I didn't know that this was here until I knew somebody that did it.
So like I actually was just looking on the internet. I was just like, oh, let's see if I can figure out a school close to me. And I was like, pro wrestling training schools near me. And I saw that there was one like 45 minutes away. So I was like, all right, sold. I didn't even look into like, if there was any notoriety or anything to them. So that's why it's just like, it was a good start, but it wasn't going to help me in the long run. So it's kind of how I figured it out.
Fair enough. I know that you're hurt presently, so I'm usually this is where I ask if you have any upcoming shows, but I don't know if you have anything booked at this point with your injury.
No, I don't have anything currently booked, but if uh, anybody goes back and watches this tomorrow or whenever it gets posted, I will be at AIW this weekend, just hanging out, kicking it, just having a good time, enjoying the show like the rest of us or the rest of you guys. Um, and then also AIW's got a big show this weekend with Wrestle Rager. It's like one of the biggest parties of the summer, so I'm really excited for that.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, I mean, with a word or a name like Wrestle Rager, it's got to be fun.
Right, get wrestle raged.
Get Wrestle Raged. I'm gonna make that a thing. Like we're gonna have to get T-shirts. Get Wrestle Raged.
That's fair. So how much longer are you going to be out with your injury? Do you know?
So I'm not gonna disclose when I'm coming back because I do have
You're
a
fine.
set time frame where I know I'm coming back. But I will say that the cast will be disappearing in a couple weeks. But that doesn't mean I'm coming back soon because there is a lot of recovery stuff you got to do with physical therapy and everything. This is all new to me because the last thing that I fractured or broke was my elbow, and that was like almost 12 years ago. So I've been very
Yeah.
fortunate with breaking bones and injuries and stuff like that. So
Well, I hope that you have a speedy recovery, and I hope that you're like 1,010% when you come back, and that you don't re-injure yourself. And I hope that your return is fantastic.
thank you so much. Yeah, I know I'm going to take the precautions. Like I already talked to my roommate, and I was just like, yeah, I think I want to get some boots that come up to the ankle, and then I think I want to get an ankle brace. I'm just gonna like make sure that nothing happens again, because I would never wish this on anybody.
Yeah, I can't imagine how hard that is, like to not be able to wrestle, but also all the challenges it brings you in your like real life or your regular life.
Yeah, I mean, like especially being the right ankle, like I can't drive anywhere, so it's just kind of like I'm just stuck in one spot.
Oh.
But I make the best of my days.
Well, that's good. Like, is there anything that you've like taken up since you have broken your ankle that you didn't do before, or that you've like gotten more into?
Actually, I've well, getting into part, like I've been watching this show called Archer, and oh my god, it is hilarious. It is hilarious. I love dumb humor. So like, just Archer is like my favorite character because it's just like he's so oblivious to everything that it's hilarious. But as in things I picked up streaming because, like I said, I love video games. So I've been streaming here recently. So actually, as fresh as like this week, I started streaming. So
Oh, so you're saying that you have a Twitch that you'd like to plug?
if this is the right time for a cheap plug, I would
Yeah,
love the
plug
plug
away.
that I will be streaming Fortnite and Call of Duty, Warzone, and Cold War, and I'll be streaming it at Riley Rose One. And the reason why it's Riley Rose One is because I messed up the first one. So
Is that Riley Rose like the number one or the word one?
Riley Rose number one.
You are number one.
Oh, the sweetest.
So, on to like a few just kind of more random questions, and then we will see if there's questions from the chat. We'll see if Chuck is around for a lightning round. And then we'll wrap up. So this is I don't know if you're much of a, I know that you're on Twitter. I don't know how big of a Twitter user you are. I feel like maybe I've seen you in a space. I'm not quite sure. But I really like Twitter Spaces. I've made some really interesting friends through Twitter Spaces. So this is a shout out to Twitter Spaces and a question that is routinely brought up in the Twitter Spaces that I frequent. What is the biggest animal that you could take in a fight with just your hands, no weapons?
Ooh. That is such a random question, but I'm here for it. Man, I'd have to say on a realistic level, like mentally, I'm like, man, just put me in there with the Bears. Like, I got them. But on a realistic level, I'd have to say, hmm, I'd have to say a dog, to be honest with you, because like I'm scared of snakes. And well, okay, let me rephrase that. I'm scared of venomous snakes and venomous spiders. So I couldn't imagine me fighting a bear. Like,
What
at
if
least
the bear had a spider on it?
well, that's his problem. I don't have to deal with it at that point.
So, next question I have is, how do you take your pancakes?
How do I take my pancakes?
Yeah,
Ooh.
like
if I'm like treating myself, I need to put peanut butter all over them, and then I'm like putting so much syrup on it that like a diabetic would be like, I don't think I can eat that.
that's an acceptable answer. Peanut butter on pancakes is highly underrated.
It really is though.
Super tasty. Way better than like regular butter.
Oh, I honestly don't put butter on my pancakes. Like some people do it, and it's just like, it's not my thing.
If I'm having just like a plain like regular good old fashioned like buttermilk pancake, I'm probably just gonna go with some syrup on that, unless I get like a fruity topping. Sometimes I'll do like a strawberry syrup, depending on the pancake.
Oh, if we're doing syrups, cherry,
Oh yeah,
cherry
syrup.
love cherry. Love cherry.
One time I had, what's like the best pancakes you've ever had?
I don't know. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I don't really eat pancakes that much.
Is it because you're a waffle guy?
Whoa, take it easy. If I can't say it, you can't say it.
I don't want to say. I mean, I'm not about that W word life.
See, that's a lot better. No, I'm just not really like. If I'm doing breakfast, it's more just eggs and bacon and maybe toast, and that's it. Like cereal, possibly, but otherwise than that, like I'm not much of a breakfast guy, which is weird because I love cooking breakfast, but I can't.
What's your favorite breakfast to cook?
Ooh, I'd have to say it's a very classical dish, but eggs Benedict is so good.
Fancy.
Yeah. A little random fact: I have a degree in is culinary arts,
Huh.
so I might know a thing or two about cooking.
What's your favorite thing overall to cook?
I'm a big pasta guy, and here's why: because there's a lot of different kind of sauces that you can make. So like you can do a lot of different kind of sauces, a lot of different kind of meats with the sauces. So there's an endless options when it comes to like cooking with pasta. So it's
So
my favorite thing.
what's your favorite pasta to eat?
Like, are we
what's your
talking about
favorite
the noodle
dish?
or just
No,
dish?
like
Okay,
dish. Yeah, like
carbonara, honestly, which is a
Huh.
egg based sauce, and
Yeah.
it is fantastic. Like with prosciutto, like the classical way, is amazing. But like I mean, bacon's fine with it too, or chicken.
Huh. See, I mean, I'm a fat girl, and I'm a very picky eater, but I love watching cooking shows. I will watch cooking shows all day, every day. And
I love
so when you
cooking
said that, I was
shows
like,
with
yeah.
uh, notable chefs. I'm not really a big fan of Guy Fieri. I think he's a poser, in my opinion. But
Are
I'm
you
not gonna
calling
go
out Guy
into that.
Fieri?
Yes, I'm
No,
calling out.
let's go.
Post that on Twitter too. I'm just kidding.
Hell yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of him.
See, like my favorite, like probably my favorite cooking show that I like to watch is America's Test Kitchen.
Ooh, what
It
is that?
it's on. Well, I mean, it's a PBS show,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if you watch streaming services. Pluto,
I
which
did
is
not
free
have
streaming.
Pluto. Oh,
It's
it's
free.
free.
It's
Oh,
free.
all right, now you got my
Oh,
attention.
okay. It's free and it's awesome because they have so many channels. Like you don't even know. Like they just stream stuff all day. Like they have like channels for everything. They have a channel that shows American Gladiators.
No
They have
way.
like yeah, like
I
OG
love that
American
show.
Gladiators. Yeah,
Oh, the OG.
yeah, like 80s and 90s American Gladiator. So American Gladiator channel. They have a channel that shows just like 90s music videos that I've been really into lately. Um, they have like I think they have one that's just the Addams Family. Um,
What?
they have one that's classic game shows. Like it's called Buzzer and it's awesome. Like I
Well, I
watched
know what I'm
Supermarket
doing
Sweep.
after this. I'm gonna download Pluto and I'm gonna explore
Yes.
that.
They have one that's just like court TV shows, like judge shows and stuff, which I love.
Like Judge Judy,
Yeah,
possibly.
like Judge Judy from 1995. Judge Judy.
Oh my
I wa-
gosh.
I watched Divorce Court today from 1999 and watched a
Dun, dun,
couple
dun.
fight over Beanie Babies. It was
Yes,
awesome.
I love it.
Like it was lit. Yeah, but they're going back to there's a channel that's just America's Test Kitchen, just endlessly on a loop.
Yeah, because I like my biggest show, like culinary wise, was Chopped, because like
That show's so fun.
I've done a couple competitions like that, and it is literally such a challenge. Like it literally tests you in all of your skills of culinary. So like just watching people and what they do with some of the bizarre items too, I enjoy it. Like it's great.
Yeah, you download Pluto. They also have like they give new channels all the time.
Mhm.
They have like a Julia Childs channel now.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, it's just Julia Child on a loop forever and ever.
I don't know about watching her on a loop, but I can dedicate a couple hours
Pop
to
in,
my life.
yeah, pop in for a half hour. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, 10 of 10 would recommend Pluto. Like they have movies and they have stuff that you can watch on demand too. Like it's crazy. 10
Yep.
of 10 would recommend Pluto.
Sold.
So, final question that I have for you, and then I do see that Chuck's joined us. I'm sure we
Okay.
have questions from the chat, but this is a big one. This is a doozy. So
Okay. All right.
prep yourself. So
Seatbelts on.
all right, like I'm gonna set a scene for you. So you decide you're hungry and you want something kind of sweet, and you think, I like cookies, I want cookies. So you go to the grocery store and you're going down the cookie aisle,
Mhm.
and you're like, you pass all like the chocolate chip, and you pass like Chips Ahoy, and you pass the Nutter Butters, and you're like, I want Oreos. Not any of the weird, funky flavor, weird Oreos. No, no, no. Just like your
Mhm.
regular OG, like chocolate cookie cream Oreo.
Mhm.
Are you going for a single stuffed Oreo, or are you going for a double stuffed Oreo?
I'm going to hit you with a different answer. I'm going for the mega stuff.
So much
Yes.
stuff.
So much stuff.
So
Yeah, I
like
saw that. I saw that on Twitter too. That was another question.
that's like the signature question of the Bald Monkeys network of family of podcast shows. So that's
Just
why.
so much stuff.
All this stuff.
Yes. I will say I have been exploring recently with like the different like flavors, and the one that has hit me in a good spot was the salted caramel. Have you tried that one?
I have not yet.
Salted caramel fudge brownie. So good. So good.
See, I want to try the lemon ones. I really like lemon. I
I
turned like 30 and I was like, hell yeah, lemon.
that was the thing at 30. You're just like, hell yeah, lemon.
30, lemon and ibuprofen. That's my two things now.
But yeah, if you do get a chance and you're at a grocery store and you're just like, oh yeah, Riley told me to try this, like, try it. It's really good.
I will pick that up based solely on your recommendation, and then I will tweet about it. And if it's bad, I will let you know.
Okay, and then if it's bad, it was Matt. So,
Gentlemen, do we have any questions from chat?
Hello, everybody.
Chat.
Yes, the captain is here. Captain Chuckles. I joined a little late. Riley, I apologize, sir, for my actions, but I am here.
hey, no worries. It was apology from me because the Wi-Fi was kind of being wonky, so we had to take a three-peat on this.
Damn Wi-Fi. I'm telling you, this internet. It the internet age is crazy.
It really is because it only, like I was telling Val, it only works when it needs to, or when it doesn't need to. That's the only time.
Exactly.
Has a mind of its own.
It does. By the way, Pluto is an awesome app. I have it on all my TVs. There's so much shit on there. It's ridiculous. They literally have a tiny house channel that I've been watching on repeat every night before bed. It's great.
If you like murder shows, they have Unsolved Mysteries. They
Yep.
have Forensic Files. Like, I think they have a Cold Case Files one. Yeah, all the
Really, I
murder
I
shows.
do love those. I also love a good horror, like story, like or murder or like ghosts or
They have a paranormal channel.
yes, that's what I was looking for. The words are hard. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Then
They have a whole channel dedicated to paranormal stuff.
I'm here for it.
I
You've already
like
had
that.
me sold like 10 times. Like,
We don't have
Well,
to tell you all the great things about Pluto, but we're going to
no.
continue telling you
Yeah.
about them.
Maybe we'll get sponsored and it'll be the Bald Monkeys Network sponsored by Pluto and Oreo cookies.
Can we
We can
get
only
on
hope.
Pluto? Can we get a Pluto channel?
hey, listen, I'm gonna tag Pluto on Twitter. I'm gonna be like, listen, you need to sponsor these guys. They're gonna plug you like every single time, and Oreos. So, what more could you need?
That reminds me, there's a pro wrestling channel on Pluto. There's
Yep.
also a channel that just shows TNA,
No way.
Not that TNA, but the
Oh.
wrestling TNA.
like Impact
Oh, well.
TNA. But like from
No, I'm
all
just
the
kidding.
years,
I'm just kidding.
even from like the 6-sided ring years.
That was
Yep.
actually like as crazy as it is that I wasn't introduced to independent wrestling until like 2018. Like TNA was like another promotion that we watched a lot of.
I went to like probably 15 TNA house shows over the course of like 2 years.
Really, I've only went to one show, and it was TNA Lockdown in Cincinnati, Ohio. I forget what year it was, but I remember it was. I think it was Bully Ray and Kurt Angle in the cage. So
Nice.
yeah,
Like for a while, they were doing a bunch of house shows in the Midwest, and me and my sister went to just like tons of them. We even went down to like Orlando when they were still like taping down there, and we went to like a pay-per-view and like 3 days worth of tapings in like 2010.
Wow. See, I wish I would have been able to go down there because like just to see the setup and everything, like especially when they were doing the double entrance, like from one side of the ring to the other, like
like the hotel that we stayed at, we met the Young Bucks when they were Generation Me, like in the hotel lobby, and I was like, that's kind of cool.
You don't realize it blew my mind when I found out they were Generation Me. I was like, holy shit, like that's the Young Bucks. That's crazy. Honestly, like I remember I was just like curiously on YouTube just watching random stuff on wrestling. And it was like one of the things popped up. It was like famous wrestlers you didn't know that was on TNA, and I was like, you got my interest. Play, and it was like Coda or not Coda. Wow, why am I drawing a blank? Anyways, it was like Generation Me is the Young Bucks, and Shinsuke, and Okada. There we go. There it is. Okada was on TNA, and I was like, dude, this is insane. Like I missed so much.
I feel that in my soul. So, question from chat.
So I think Christopher informed me that there a bunch had been either asked or answered. So I do have one right now before we go to the lightning round. And this one is a good one. It kind of piggybacks off of your action figure question. And the question for you, Riley, is beside a action figure of yourself, what other indie wrestler would you want an action figure of?
Man. That's a tough question because like I'm thinking now catchphrases, what would they say? If I'm a big comedy person, so I'd have to say like if it was a lot of comedy catchphrases, I would go with Effie. Like
That's what I went with.
Yeah.
Effie does need his own action figure.
Speaking action figure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Think about how many cool jackets it could come with.
Oh, the accessories.
Gosh. So many cool jackets.
That would be amazing. Okay. Well, that was our question from the chat. And now we're going to move on to the lightning round. Chris, hit the intro video.
Okay.
It is the worst part of this interview. And my one question right now is, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Question 1. Favorite movie quote?
My name is Rod and I like to party.
If you were invisible, where would you go?
I don't know why, but China. Like that was the first thing that came to my mind.
That works. Favorite cartoon character and why?
Wile E. Coyote, because it was like one of my first fond memories of cartoons.
Nice. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail?
Talk.
What is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Check my phone.
The store you shop at the most?
Kroger.
Where would you like to retire?
Florida.
Are you a sunrise or a sunset person?
Sunset.
Would you rather text or talk to somebody?
Text.
Okay, number 10. If the toilet paper roll is really low, but not completely out, do you replace it or leave it for somebody else?
Leave it for somebody else.
Love it. Love it.
And it's
That was a
really-
great question, Chuck.
It's really fucked up, but you know, it's kind of funny.
So what I'm hearing is your roommate probably has a problem with you.
No, listen, he does this shit to me too. So it's more
Would you
of
like to
a
out him
battle.
publicly? No.
No. I'm not gonna say which roommate. I'm just saying somebody.
Fair
Well,
enough.
thank you, sir. You have survived, as old bald guy in the chat put, the best worst part of the interview. I go with the side of the worst.
I appreciate old dad guy and Vic hanging in there with my technical difficulties and
Yeah, thank
watching
you.
this delightful interview with Riley that will be up on our Twitch replay. You can also catch the audio on Spotify at some point and the interview on YouTube as well.
Lit.
So you're going to be everywhere.
Ooh, I love that for me. And I love that for you. Because
I mean, I don't know that I love that for me, but I love that for the people that I get to speak with. Feel bad for people that have to look at me the whole time. So, kind of winding down, what are your socials?
all right, so
Where can people find more of you?
because I added a new social, I gotta go through my rundown again. But on Twitter and on Instagram, it is Real Riley Rose, and then on Twitch, like I said earlier, it is Real Riley Rose 1 because I put in the wrong email. So, and then on Facebook, I have a page as well, and then on YouTube, just look up Riley Rose, and you're going to find a makeup store. Just wait until you see my pretty face, and that's where it's at.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, on that note, make sure to give Riley a follow. He will be back soon, eventually, when he's all healed up and ready to take on whoever comes his way. But in the meantime, follow him and make sure to check him out on Twitch when he streams. What you said, Fortnite and Call of Duty.
Fortnite and Call of Duty mostly. Yeah, I might throw a random thing out there, like Need for Speed or just I think I'm semi funny, so it's worth a follow.
Well, I've laughed several times while having this interview with you, and I think that I mean I will give you a follow. So
Yes, a new follow.
like I'll show up. But thank you everybody for hanging out with us through all the technical difficulties and just me babbling. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you, Riley, for hanging out with us. We can just hang out for just a little bit after we go off air. Just kind of wrap stuff up.
Yeah.
This has been The Stack. I'm Val Pancakes. This has been Riley Rose. And make sure to follow him on all of his socials. And thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you guys. Take care.